Hello and welcome to the Good, the Bad and the Stupid. It's Thursday the 24th of October. Hope you're well. I'm going to start off today with the weather report for the day. Raining. It's going to be raining all day. It's been raining so far. I've already had to change my clothes. I'm already been soaking wet. It's a miserable bloody day. But anyway, we're not going to let it get us down. I've not had a bad day as somebody who I saw got splashed really badly by a puddle when they tried to cross the road to catch the bus. So you will pay the price for jaywalking, but they weren't very happy about it, put it that way. But anyway, I've had a bit of fun today. I've been set up today. This is quite funny. Somebody put something on Twitter earlier. Chris Packham, I think it was, the wildlife guy. He said something about he can't make it to some charity event. But he said, but he's glad to say, or he's happy to say, that Fergal Sharkey will be standing in for him. And obviously that prompts people to sort of make little comments and whatever else. And I think Ben Fogle said something along the lines of, kids at school used to call him Fogle Sharkey. And then I made a little quip, because I saw that. So I made a little quip saying, because the thing out of Only Fools and Horses, Rodney said Rodney said that he had a Shergal Farkey LP, which I remember and thinking that was hilarious. So I put that. Anyway, I had a message back from Fergal Sharkey personally, as he has done to anybody else who put a load of funny little puns and quips. And he's fined everybody £10 towards the charity for anybody who said a shit Fergal Sharkey pun. So he's personally delivered that fine to me. So I feel obliged to pay it, even though it was a proper setup, because it's clear that everybody was going to say something like that. And he's obviously got this set up as a fundraising opportunity. So yeah, it was very clever. I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. You got to think before you send out shit jokes. Even though it wasn't a shit joke, I was just quoting a line from Only Fools and Horses. But he's probably heard it a million times. So to him, it's really shit, and it's well worth the £10. He's suggested that I pass to the charity, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to honour my fine. I'm going to pay it, and I'm going to accept and never tell. And always remember the day where I was set up by Fergal Sharkey from the Undertones. And if you remember the Undertones, Teenage Kicks was John Peel's favourite song, and a fucking cracking song, and they were a great band. So I'm more than happy to pay my way. But I'll be extra careful and vigilant next time a situation like that occurs, because I feel it's a little bit. It was a little bit of a bait. I think it's some kind of fucking fishing charity as well, but I was definitely fell for the bait anyway. Hook, line, and sinker. Never mind. We're going to move on to Google says it has developed a quantum computer billions of times faster than any other technology. So the US giant claims it took 200 seconds to carry out a task that would have taken a supercomputer. Now, bearing in mind the supercomputer is the fucking biggest and best computer that there is. It would have took the supercomputer 10,000 years. So it took 200 seconds to carry out a task the supercomputer would have took 10,000 years. So that's how fucking super duper super fragilistic. What's that thing off Mary Poppins? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That's how big this computer is. It's basically going to outdo supercomputers. Are going to be almost like a Betamax video to like, you know, Blu-ray or something. So this thing is going to be imagine what they're going to be able to do with that. That's just going to rocket technology forward, isn't it? So what I was talking about the other day about life, people being able to have eternal life, and all these other kind of things, and flying with jetpacks and all this kind of stuff. It could, or colonising other planets, all this kind of stuff. This could be the start of it. And it says here that to actually work, just for it to work, it has to be kept in minus 273 Fahrenheit Celsius. So it has to be cooled to that temperature just to be able to work. Who comes up with these things? How the fuck do they ever think? Did they just start building something and just go, wow, what have we got? Or did they actually plan to create this particular thing? Or they've just like created a Frankenstein monster of a machine, because it's way, way, way above and beyond anything that anybody could even imagine. And the supercomputers are all in China, 229 of them apparently. So China are going to be pissed off because now the US have got the most powerful computer that there is. What's it called? Terminator. The new Terminator film coming out, and it's all getting a bit real. It's all getting a bit pretty much obvious that this is where it's all going. So anyway, that's good news. Why not? It's all fun as long as it is sustainable. Let's not upset Extinction Rebellion, because you know, we need it to be what's the word? Maybe it's the thing that's going to save the planet. That would be the good thing. That could be the computer that we have to fucking tune into when we're on our last legs and just about to cark it. That maybe kicks in and does something that saves the planet. So, or maybe contacts other aliens and all that kind of stuff. So that's good news. Speaking of aliens, Mariah Carey is back. I'm only joking. Mariah Carey is back. Not for, as you would think, she's coming back as to coincide with her 25th anniversary of her Merry Christmas album, which is re-released next week. She's going to be in, wait for it, Walker's Crisps adverts. That's right, you heard it here first. She's not, I don't think she's doing any concerts. She's just collaborating with Walker's Crisps on her 25th of her Merry Christmas album, which you think is like, what the fuck for? And I'll tell you what the fuck for. £9 million. That's what the fuck for. So yeah, of course she is. She's going to have a few fun twists apparently in the ad campaign. I'll tell you what, there's not a lot. And Walker's Crisps is almost like a seller, isn't it? But at the same time, there's not a lot I wouldn't do for £9 million. I've got to tell you. You know, it's like. But the thing is, I'm coming from a position of having fucking diddly squat money. She's coming from a position of being minted and mega rich. So would I go near a fucking Walker's Crisp advert? No, I wouldn't. I would just do my concerts and do what I fucking do. Why don't you just do a concert for a 25th anniversary and go tour the globe doing that instead of like prancing around eating salt and vinegar? Then again, Gary Lineker might have a bee in his bonnet when he spots them, unless he's getting paid that kind of money. Maybe he's going to start banging on about what's it called, equal pay or something like that, because 9 million seems excessive for to get paid for a bloody crisp advert. Anyway, Walkers, if you need anybody else, I'm available for weddings, birthdays, bar mitzvahs, all this kind of stuff. Until my podcast takes off, of course, and I make any money in any other way other than the hard work that I do generally for work. Money doesn't come easy. What's the word? Hard come, easy go. That's the way it is with the money. In one hand, out the other. Anyway, won't need money if we have a zombie apocalypse. That's the next worst thing to extinction, I suppose. Apparently more than half of us have a creative plan to escape the zombie apocalypse. And 56% felt confident they could survive if corpses emerge from their graves like the hit TV show The Walking Dead. People are weird, aren't they? My mate's got a kind of thinks he knows all about what to do in the zombie apocalypse. He's like researched it, and he's big into it. You know what I mean? I think he's like was like fucking hypnotised by that Walking Dead and all those kind of programs. But he likes all his like shooting game, computer games and that. Maybe he's had some zombie ones, but he thinks he knows all the deal and what to do, and he's got like a zombie survival pack and all this kind of bullshit. But he hasn't got, but he knows what to have in the event. So he's like ready, how to survive basically. And these people are saying, these are coming up with shit ones. One's saying he would plan to climb a tall building and set up a camp. All right, that's not a bad one, I suppose, but that's just like almost fucking Dawn of the Dead, isn't it? And the next one is 1 in 7 would jump into a car and flee. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Who wouldn't do that if you had the chance? Yeah, of course you would. I thought there was going to come out with some like really, oh yeah, that's clever. Nothing so clever so far. A cunning 13% said they would pretend to be a zombie and try to escape. Now, I don't even know the score there, but my mate would actually go, hang on a minute, no, because zombies will be able to smell you and all that. He knows every eventuality you put in front of him. He's like almost an annoying kind of SWAT. If he went on Mastermind and he went on with zombies, he'd probably get fucking full what's it called? Full score. And another 13% would take inspiration from the film Shaun of the Dead and head to the pub for a lock-in. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. A lock-in, or that day, like the Dawn of the Dead, isn't it, when it's in the shopping centre. Although, shopping centre, I suppose, be a bit boring after a bit because you've got nothing else to do, have you, other than shop, and you can't take the stuff anywhere. So, if you like clothes, you can just keep trying on clothes all day long, I suppose. But apart from that, unless there's a pub or restaurant or some other shit going on, nightclub, fucking get the party going at the very least. You might as well have one last big hoorah, if you like. Maybe get completely off your head, so at least the bite doesn't hurt when it comes. If you're pissed, you're not going to feel it too much, are you? You actually might fancy one of them if that's the case. You might, start getting the old beer goggles on and go like, that one over there with no nose and, a jaw hanging off. She's quite a looker, I think she's giving me the eye. She's like fucking definitely giving you the eye, mate, because she wants to eat you. But you're going to think eat you in a different way. But at least, like I said, it's not going to work. You'll probably fall asleep and you'll wake up dead. Or you'll wake up as a zombie, which is dead. But, it's the next best thing to being dead, I suppose, because at least you're still walking around. My mate would tell me about that as well then. They wouldn't like it, or they don't know if they got friends. Are they friends with the other zombies? I don't know, but he does. SWAT, zombie SWAT. Okay, so the holidaymaker who shut down the airport after swiping the cutout of Sir Cliff Richard has now invited Cliff Richard to his bar to, as he feels like he's raised his profile for him, as I said yesterday, and he's now named him as an honorary member. You can't help thinking this is a little bit contrived, and it turns out that the guy did nick him from Portugal as well, and he's brought him back, I think. Well, he keeps talking about Portugal in here, put it that way. I think because Cliff Richard lives in Portugal, doesn't he? So he's nicked it from Portugal. And that's why the Portuguese probably had a bee in a bonnet and shut the airport down. Anyway, I was wondering how he got the cardboard cutout back to the UK in one piece. Because that's like almost a person, isn't it? You know what I mean? He got a cardboard cutout. Do you have to pay for a seat for him or what? Has he had like sit the cardboard cutout next to him, or... Because either way, it's not folded or anything like that, so it's full size, so he would have had to pay to bring it back, wouldn't he? Anyway, more to come on that page turner of what happened with the Cliff Richard cardboard cutout. Can you ever imagine being having cardboard cutouts of you in different places? I was going to say be that famous to have cardboard cutouts, but Cliff Richard's famous, but I've seen cardboard cutouts of some right shit celebrities, so you don't necessarily have to be famous or good famous. You can still be a Z-list. Yeah, so what am I going to say here? Yeah, the what's this one? Excuse me, I lost my train of thought there. I was trying to think of what my cardboard cutout might look like. It'd probably be like fucking people who drawed on it, you know what I mean? Drawed like fucking dick on your head and stuff like that, or like deface it and whatever. I don't think they'd treat it with as much respect as they do Cliff Richards, put it that way. Bake Off's Paul Hollywood has been slammed after joking a cake was diabetes on a plate. He basically said the French dessert contains puff pastry, profiteroles, caramelised sugar and cream. And he said it was like eating diabetes on a plate, and he's upset a lot of people with diabetes who've come out and said he's taking a piss basically, but and that they are not responsible for their diabetes, not responsible from their eating habits, because they've got type 1 diabetes. And he's had to apologise. He didn't have to apologise. He's offended people, but he has apologised. He's just made it was a joke at the end of the day. You can choose to be offended by it. And he's talking about type 2 diabetes anyway. He's talking about the one that is caused by bad diet and food. And there is actually people saying that it's not actually sugar. They're saying it's caused by sugar, but it's meant to be caused by actual processed meat and stuff like that as well. So anyway, get your facts straight on that. I'm not sure. I'm no doctor, but I've watched the films recently, and apparently diabetes is a big problem for people who have a big meat diets and all that kind of stuff. So maybe it's a mixture of the both. I don't want to start putting people's nose out here who know the facts. Right, let's move. Gladiators star Cobra has revealed he was often drunk on the cult 90s game show. Gonna be Gladiators. How come he's popped up again? He regularly struggled to chase contestants up the wall, 32-foot wall, because he was pissed. So anybody that went through on any of those days where he was chasing them, they've kind of like, it's almost, they should be disqualified now, shouldn't they? But we're not going to go back all the way to the 90s. Bloody hell! I wonder why they're talking about it. But he said he was a drunk or he's an alcoholic or something or other. But he was, or he was just making use of all the free bar for all the semi-celebrity status that they had. His name was Cobra. And the other guy was called Ace, and he's come out as well, and he said he used to be bulked up on steroids. Fucking no shit, that was all like steroid monsters. And he basically said that the producers forced him to quit. Oh, they forced him to quit the drugs. I thought he was going to say they forced him to do the drugs. Then I thought I was like, going to be naming and shaming some TV crew then. But no, they forced him to quit the drugs, and he's now a born again Christian. And he said he's a gladiator for God. So he's now kind of bouncing on the doors of heaven, or he's like, he's going and using his, I don't know, what's he doing? He's got muscles and he's into God. I don't know where the two kind of come into any kind of, maybe he's down the gym and he's kind of like, trying to convert people or something like that. Who knows? But anyway, he's happy. That's all that counts. If he's off steroids, it's a good thing because he could be dead. Or he could be shriveled. I don't know what. Somebody else who's sporting, these are in the 50s now, these gladiators. And there's another one, Nigel Benn. He's 55. Nigel Benn was fucking the boxer from the big fights against Chris Eubank and Steve Watson and whoever else. Steve Collins, beg your pardon, from the 90s, but he's back now. He's going to fight again, apparently. He's age 55 and he's going to fight. And everyone's saying that they're fearing for his life because he's too old to fight. And he's too old to fight, isn't he? He's 55, for fuck's sake. He's like, there's no need to fight. He's done everything. And he's not like he's fighting Eubank. He's fighting Sakio Bika, who's 40. I mean, is he still... Sakio Bika, is he still fighting as a professional? And he's coming out and fighting an actual professional. I thought he was fighting somebody. They're both coming out of retirement. But it turns out he's fighting, I think, somebody who might be, maybe he's still coming out of retirement, but he's a former world title holder anyway. So they're going to have a dust up, and everyone's saying he shouldn't. But he wants to prove himself, and he's saying he's fit, and he can, and he will, and he wants to. So you got to let him in, I think they'll probably be on guard to fucking shut the match off as quick as anything gets like a bit fucking risky. But now Steve Collins wants to get in on it. He wants to come back, and he said he'll fight him. He'll fight the winner. So everyone's smelling the money, aren't they? He's saying if the money's right, I'll come out and fight whoever wins. So there you go. I don't think it would be that. It'd be entertaining to a degree, but you're not going to expect much of it, are you? I suppose people wouldn't mind seeing Nigel Benn fight Chris Eubank again. That would be a fucking a dust up because they really don't like each other. I think they've buried the hatchet now, but they would have it out because I think Chris Eubank won twice, but one of them, and they drawed once, but one of the wins it looked like 100% that Nigel Benn won that, so it should be even. So there's still something to prove there. But anyway, good luck to him. Hopefully their sons are actually the ones who are coming through now, and they're both boxers. They're in different weights, I think, because that would be good if them two fought each other. But their sons are following in the footsteps, Eubank Jr. and Ben Jr. So good. They'll go on and fucking make loads of money. Hopefully, they look like they're class acts anyway. So, but they're getting trained by the right people, aren't they? Their dads have been there and done it. Right, Madness Suggs. Frontman Suggs went to court to give a character reference for a friend who ended up getting jailed for 6 months. So his character reference wasn't worth shit by the sounds of it, because he said that the judge recognised him from smashing up Middlesbrough University, where the judge Middlesex University, where the judge happened to be the head. What's he called? Was it the head boy or something? Head of the student union. You can't bring that into the courtroom. You can't sort of chucking sentences around because somebody pissed you off years ago, can you? But it turns out he has. Or maybe the guy was going to get 6 months regardless. But anyway, the character witness went down in flames because the judge recognised him and said that he was a drunken thuggery and smashed our new toilet department. So he sounds like a right fucking wet dream, doesn't he? Not wet dream, wet blanket, should I say. So yeah, so on the back of that, he sent him down for 6 months. So I'd appeal that if I was you. I think that's like sour grapes there. You can't sort of send somebody down for that. Off with his head. The judges, that is. Okay, Snowflake students are bidding to ban clapping because the noise could trigger anxiety. They want to replace it with jazz hands where students wave in the air. Come on, are you fucking kidding me? The idea was suggested at the Oxford Student Union's first meeting of the year. The policy was proposed to make more events more accessible and inclusive for all, including people who suffer from anxiety. Now, I'm sorry, but that is just pathetic, absolutely ridiculous. For one, the people who are, you're basically making everybody in the room having to conform to not offend the small, probably small minority of people that do suffer with anxiety. And who's to say that people with anxiety get fucking anxious when people start clapping? I can't imagine that. I mean, it's got nothing. It's not directed at them, is it? If it does, then it's just tough, and they'd have to leave the room, isn't it? Or they'd have to like fucking deal with it. You can't just start changing society or situations or something like clapping, for God's sake, because 1 or 2 or 3 people might be anxious. It's got. I mean, I feel for the people who are anxious, but at the same time, just don't put yourself in the situations that make you anxious. You can't expect the situation to change according to that. That'll make them more anxious. That'll make them think, fucking hell, you know what I mean? Everyone's don't like us now because of that situation. And then it will come back and they'll have double anxiety because, they'll feel that everybody's having to conform to them. You know where I'm going with it. Yeah, so don't do that. And I'm going to keep clapping going as far as I'm concerned. I don't get many claps, and I'll welcome them when they come. I won't be anxious, so keep them coming. Send me a clap or two. What's it called? Lewis Hamilton has been showing off his garage of petrol guzzling supercars days after telling fans to go vegan to save the planet. He's never going to get over that one, is he? Everyone else and all the other drivers are telling him he should not go out on a limb saying about that when you've got all these cars and the job that you do. I mean, he can have all the cars. Why not? As long as he's not driving them around and gas guzzling and doing all that, I suppose. He can have them as trophies. Why not? But I guess he's talking about the wider picture. He's talking about the massive impact that going plant-based or going vegan will have, as opposed to... Because if you watch that Cowspiracy film, the impact of fossil fuels on a graph... I don't know if it's true. It looks true if you watch the film and the information in it. The impact of fossil fuels is like here, but the impact of animal agriculture was like right all the way up there. And the film was all about the hypocritical charities who go out and try and protest against the fossil fuels, whereas they're not. Nobody makes a comment about the damage that animal agriculture is making, and they're suggesting that it's because they're worried that they'll lose donors who donate money to the charity who don't eat meat. So I mean, come on, get your fucking house in order. If it's bad for us, then you've got to come out and say it, ain't you? You know what I mean? It's like this film. The guy has been brave enough to come out and highlight it, and the information's getting out there. It's about time all the charities got on board, and if it's not true, they should say so as well. Not just not mention and not say anything, just so they can get money off the donors. I'm missing a piece of paper here somewhere. Where is it? Oh no, okay. Right, I'm going to finish up on 2 more things. Exorcist has been the head-spinning scene in the classic horror film The Exorcist has been voted the scariest of all time. It pipped the shower scene from Psycho and the chest-bursting shocker from Alien to top spot. The movie starred 13-year-old blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so you have The Exorcist, Psycho, Alien, Misery, The Shining, The Ring, Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw, The Shining, Halloween. Where's The Evil Dead? The Evil Dead was the scariest film when I was growing up. It was banned, and what made it worse was it was banned from all the video shops and everything, so you could find it then on pirate video. And when you watched it, you had that extra gravitas of it being banned. So, I mean, a film banned today, it'll be bad, but you watch it and go, yeah, I can see why it was banned. But back then, it had it carried weight, and if it was banned, it was deemed to be fucking scary, So when you watched it, you were already shitting yourself before you even put it on. And The Exorcist, I think they might have banned The Exorcist at one point, but what's it called? The Evil Dead was scary when they was all in that log cabin, and then the guy turns around. Well, the girl was doing all the playing cards, going Jack of clubs, Jack of diamonds, eight of 7 of hearts, and then ace of spades or something like that. And then turns around and she's got that scary face. It was pretty fucking. Always giving me chills thinking about it. Actually, I think I'd like to watch it again. If I watched it now, it would probably be so dated with rubber faces and all that kind of stuff. So I might ruin it, but I would like to watch it again. And then Evil Dead 2, that was just a farce, wasn't it? That's just hilarious with the guy who's having a fight with his hand. His hand is possessed. There was a tongue-in-cheek version, but still, they were both good. Last one, the man who sent his parents a postcard from Spain was stunned to see it pop through the letterbox 28 years later. He's now living at the address where his parents lived, and the postcard that he sent 28 years later came through his own letterbox. And he's like, who's been? And it was from Benidorm. He's like, oh, who's in Benidorm? He started reading it, and it was like, they say the weather. He said the weather is hot and everything is okay. And then he's like, imagine that. It's weird, isn't it? It's like some kind of flashback moment. You'd be like some fucking Twilight Zone, seeing your postcard come through the post that you sent 28 years before. Yeah, that would trip you out. And I could say, there you go. That's the Royal Mail for you. I've got a bloody CCJ coming towards me at the moment. I'm trying to argue it because of a post. I sent evidence to a parking fine to the court, and the court didn't receive it, and they gave me the fine or the fucking whatever regardless. Now I'm having to pay to argue my case, all because the Royal Mail didn't deliver my fucking evidence. So maybe it'll turn up in 28 years time when it'll be fucking long past overdue. Anyway, I'll kind of leave it there. So hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to see you again tomorrow. See you later. Bye bye.